Welcome back to the Bill of Rights show on Ndtv-Hindu. I'm Cuckoo Alex. This is where we tell you about your rights as a consumer and how you can exercise them. We all think of packaged drinking water as the safest. That's why we buy the bottled water, especially when we're going out of town. But this Chennai resident recently discovered that the supplies given out by some companies is unclean and that the contamination is big enough to pose a serious health threat to consumers. We get you the story of how worms were found not just anywhere, but in a can of drinking water sold in a Chennai neighborhood.
Brace yourself for this. These are not just worms, but worms found in a can of drinking water sold in a Chennai neighborhood. An unsuspecting resident was supplied this can of water who believed that packaged water is always safe. But only when his wife was taken ill and sent to hospital, to his horror, the cause was traced to the worms in the water.
எடுக்கறாங்க 20 ஆச்சு 25 வாட்டி வந்து எடுத்துக்கறாங்க. லூஸ் மோஷன் வரை போயிட்டே இருக்கு அவங்களுக்கு. அப்புறம் கொஞ்ச நாள் பார்த்தா அன்கான்ஷியஸ் ஆயிட்டாங்க, நடக்க கூட முடியல. அப்புறம் கொண்டு போய் ஹாஸ்பிடல் அட்மிட் பண்ணி அப்புறம் டாக்டர்ஸ் சொன்னாங்க என்கிட்ட இந்த மாதிரி தண்ணி என்ன ப்ராப்ளம் எதனா ஹோட்டலில் எதனா சாப்பிட்டாங்க இல்லை தண்ணி குடிச்சாங்க ஹோட்டலில் எதுவும் சாப்பிடணும் அதனால தான் ப்ராப்ளம் ஆயிடுச்சு வயிற்றில் இன்ஃபெக்ஷன் ஆகிட்டு இருக்கு அவங்களுக்கு. ஆனால் இன்னும் அந்த மயக்கம் இன்னும் உங்களுக்கு போல அப்படி தான் இருக்கிறாங்க அவங்க. குழந்தைங்களும் கொஞ்சம் குடிச்சிருக்காங்க. என் பொண்ணுக்கும் கொஞ்சம் வயிறு ப்ராப்ளம் இருக்குது வலின்னு சொல்லிட்டு தான் இருக்கா. பையனும் 2 நாளாக சொல்கிறான் அப்பா வயிறு வலி தான் சொல்லிட்டு இருக்கான் அவனும்.
The supplier of the contaminated water is said to be delivering to more than 300 homes in Ayanavaram, and this is not the first time the water was found unfit for human consumption. Packaged water has become the main source of drinking water in Chennai city, which consumes nearly 60 lakh litres per day. Yet, experts say there are no clear state regulations to ensure that the water is safe for drinking.
Consumer has to file a complaint and he has to file it with the health officials in the Corporation of Madras, and it has to be in writing, and he has to produce proof of the product itself. Then if he doesn't give a bill, fair enough, but at least he can certify with the help of other residents in the building block that so and so has been supplying to them and he supplied water on such and such date. And I can assure you that prima facie I can say that we don't see government being very proactive in these matters. Somebody makes a complaint, that is the time when they start jumping into it, becomes like a knee-jerk reaction.
It is a basic fact that packaged water should not be exposed to direct sunlight to avoid contamination. But supplies piled up on truck backs and roadsides are a common sight in Chennai. Regular cleaning of the cans is important, but cans are also found with deposits of dirt, which is a serious health risk. In Chennai, Bertila, Ndtv-Hindu.
A consumer rights activist who joined us for a discussion on this case had this to say.
What are your first comments on this?
It's not merely what you say, it is dangerous. In our country, 65% of the diseases people pay for getting treatment is caused by water and waterborne material. This is something awful, and I mean, if people can be shocked out of their thing and take action, it will be really a wonderful thing.
So clearly that seal over there does not ensure safety, because I have myself had a cockroach floating, in that bubble top when I had one of it delivered home, and all I had to do was perhaps ask them for a replacement. But still, how sure are we that the next one is also as
you see, when the ISI mark is given, it is a certification after testing the procedures followed by that company to where do they draw the water from, what do they do after they are drawing it, how well do they clean it, what kind of a cleaning do they do, is it free from all bacteria. These are all issues that are handled before certifying a company. Once the certification is there, there should be a follow up on that. Unfortunately, BIS does not have enough people to regulate this kind of a thing and check and then enforce this rule.
Are you also saying maybe the health officers in the state are not doing enough, maybe?
A few days ago we carried a test on the idli and dosa maav. We tested 20. Out of the 20, 55% was proved to be contaminated.
That's shocking.
That our press conference was on Wednesday. Thursday, this press appeared. Friday, corporation suddenly, after several years, found 860 places where they seized the stock and want to check. What are they doing on a day-to-day basis?
Why is it that we have this chalta hai attitude till something really
Absolutely.
happens to
This
get up
drastic
and
You
has
see, if you ask the corporation, they will tell you they don't have people. If you ask the people who are expected to do it, they will say, sir, we are given so many different assigns and we don't know. Starting from malaria control to various things we do. Right. Where do we have the people? You see, the food area is something the government of India and the state government must take a very important cognizance of this.
Yes.
They must consider it as a people's health, people's life and death. They don't care. The FSSA our rules are yet to be framed, and if they are framed, do you think the states are going to implement it? It will take another 3-4 years before we can be assured of good quality products sold in the market. This is, we are talking about democracy.
Yes,
democracy, where do you find it? Do you find it in the corridors of the power? Do you find it in the Ripon buildings? They are not bothered about it. Common man is left to treated in a very uncommon way.
So what can a common man who's got worms floating in his bubble top really do? Can he approach the Consumer Association of India?
We can do that very immediately if they bring us the sample. We will test it. You see, if you have to do a total test of water,
yes,
it takes a long time.
Yes.
But the basic test of are there enough dangerous microbes in that? It can be done in 24 hours.
Right.
This is possible. Any person who is watching this moment must bring a bottle of sample bottle in a sterilized bottle. You can't bring a muddy kind of a dirty bottle and put, because the bottle will contain more microbes or bacteria than the water itself.
Yes.
If they bring it, within 24 hours, we'll give them the response.
Sir,
we did a survey about this in schools. We all talk about North Madras, people living in South Madras think they are all very clean. North Madras is one of the dirty places. Do you know a corporation school in North Madras had, that is the only one that had supplied a very clean potable water? Can you believe that? Whereas, the so-called 4-star and 5-star schools,
right, of course,
people are paying thousands of rupees. Yeah. They are not supplying good water. And bottled water, please don't think is the safest. Because as long as BIS does not have the enough enforcement machinery, mechanism, what can they do? Everybody who has got a subsoil water available immediately brings a tank or sets up a water bottling plant, sells it and puts it in as you saw in that visual.
Yes, right,
bottles are dumped. Do you know those bottles cannot be used for more than twice or thrice as per the rules?
It is said specifically, but we always take it for granted and disuse it.
And in any case, whenever these bottles do get delivered at home, you can see the dirt on them, and you don't know who to ask, because
I would advise the safest thing.
Yes.
Whatever water you buy, whether it is a nice 1 liter bottled water or a bubble top water or ordinary water you get from, boil it, completely boil it for 20 minutes, not 19 minutes. Boil it for 20 minutes and after that cool it and take it.
Right.
And when you transfer the water into a bottle, make sure the bottle is also clean.
We head into a break on Bill of Rights, but on the other side, we tell you how it is necessary to be a responsible consumer while exercising your rights. Please stay with us.